Recording in progress.
Welcome in the latest episode of the Betting Pitch podcast. I'm your host, the real_G Warner. Tonight we're going through the soccer slate. It's going to be a little different than normal as La Liga and the Serie A are really taking this weekend off-ish based on, well, the Pope Francis's death, RIP to that big guy. Actually, I don't even know if I care. Descansa paz or whatever we say. But the Serie A then pushed their matches all back. They're starting much later this weekend with a ton on Sunday. Also with Spanish La Liga basically taking this weekend off, played a midweek special match day, jornada, because of the Copa del Rey this weekend. So I think I'm just going to do another episode on Italy and Spain altogether. And that's a good way to maybe segment our marketplace and see how much people care about that episode versus all the rest, because it does seem like the English Premier League gets all the hits, at least the Twitter ones. So of course we're going to start there. We're going to go through FA Cup, the Copa del Rey final, Liga, and of course the German Bundesliga, as those are all taking place somewhat normally this weekend. Going to have an ultimate best bet coming end of show. We are 41-18, 69% year to date. Still catching up on a lot of soccer results, but also have had my eye on the Stanley Cup playoffs. And if you've not been following, it's been a rocky road to start, 0-4 or something like that. But won our last three, all underdogs this whole time. And baseball has been coming in really well. So check out patreon.com/real_G Warner if you're looking for plays across all sports, all in one place. Leans every night before I go to sleep. And then bets as I lock them in. If you download the app and turn on your notifications, you'll get a buzz every time I lock something in. So looking forward to that. Check that out, patreon.com/real_G Warner. So it's time for the live, I guess. Let's go through it. We'll start in the English Premier League because that's where the money is. And we'll start on Saturday morning in the very early window. That first match to discuss is Chelsea hosting Everton. So Chelsea with a pretty quiet midweek, I guess. Good for them considering they're one of the biggest clubs that were in Conference League this season. Well, they are hosting Everton. Currently 1.25 goal favorites are Chelsea at home. Totals 2.75, juice more to the under. Tons of juice on the Everton side. It's been climbing up through 1 all the way to 1.25. And I don't really see that or really understand it. Chelsea is getting a fair amount of love lately, maybe due to the return of Cole Palmer. I just haven't really seen it from them. And I don't really believe in Chelsea, their style, strategy, all those sort of things. I think they're a club that spent a ton of money, brought in some American idiot who's used to buying everybody as part of the Los Angeles Dodgers ownership group. And maybe it's worked, but I feel like a lot of it hasn't. And without the seemingly unending amounts of money, buckets of cash, which I guess that's what used to be the Russian oligarch. But when he got ousted, when Putin decided to be a bad boy, I just don't know that I really trust what Bowley's put together. And thankfully, he has a ton of money to bail himself out. With that said, Everton, I mean, they're away from home, so no real, this is the last match at Goodison Park type scenario, which I think was an important part of why they've had so much success this season, alongside David Moyes coming in to manage. But I think we see a low-scoring game here. I don't think we see Chelsea win by multiple goals. I think Everton can win on the road. I don't think that's likely. I think scoring is less than expected here, but I think there's plenty of single goal loss, you still win half a bet right now on Everton plus 1.25. So I lean that 1.25, also to under 2.75. Would love to get a 3, but the juice is not pointing that way. To the big slate on Saturday morning, we have Southampton hosting Fulham. Currently Southampton 3/4 goal underdogs at home. All the juice on Fulham away. Total is 2.75. Juice more to the under. Southampton already relegated, so not a lot that I want to do with them here. There is a certain thing that I've noticed, though, with relegated sides, that they suddenly feel like the pressure is gone. They play a lot better. I just don't know that I trust them to really do anything. Ivan Juric, I feel like, was going to be such a good under manager, but I kind of took my wounds pretty early, took my welts, and then stopped betting Southampton matches, and I think that's probably why the season has turned around. Fulham on the other side, they haven't been playing great, and it's a big price for them away from home. You could argue that they really kind of threw the season away in 2024 second half once they were kind of not playing for much, and that's certainly something to look for at this point in the season. But Southampton are bad enough that I just don't know that I want to get involved too much there, though I guess I lean to the home underdog We did have a +1 before, so I don't really want to miss out on a 1 and take a 3/4 of a goal underdog situation here, especially on the worst team in Premier League history. They keep setting that record every time. It seems the divide between Championship and Premier League is extreme, and it's only widening. But I'll lean to under here too as well. I just don't know that either of those will make it to my card on Saturday. Or actually, it is Saturday already. Recording live, almost 1 a.m. local time in Dallas, Texas. We'll move next to Wolverhampton Wanderers hosting Leicester City. Currently, Wolves 1-goal favorite with all the juice totals 2 3/4, juice all the way to under. Pretty big price for Wolves, who were in the relegation fight just recently, but have won a bunch of matches, and that somehow got them out. Leicester, I mean, if they're ever going to show up, it might be here, but I don't know if we can trust that. I think if anything, I'd like under 2 3/4 more than the +1. Just not expecting Leicester to score and hurt that under price. Moving next to Brighton hosting West Ham United. Currently, Brighton 3/4 goal favorites at home with all the juice total is 2 3/4, juice all the way to over. West Ham to me have been ever since Graham Potter got hired, a defense only, going to keep you from scoring and see what we can do offensively. I see no reason to get away from that. I do think the 3/4 of goal is still pretty big as a spread for the side, but I lean to the under 2 3/4 the most. And if we get to 3, I'd like that even better. To the last of the early windows. Before then, we turn to FA Cup stuff, which I'll get to in the next section of the Ultimate Best Bet portion of the show. I guess that's the whole show, but next section of the show, we'll get an Ultimate Best Bet from the FA Cup and the English Premier League. So double trouble if you're looking for that. But Newcastle, 2 1/4 goal favorites at Ipswich Town, totals 3.5, juiced all the way to over. Tons of juice on the Ipswich side, but the price is extremely extremely large. And I don't think that I trust Newcastle to score as many goals. The problem is they can do that at home. Obviously, the price wouldn't be the same, but I think Newcastle is a side I'd want to bet against, away from home as a favorite. But this is a very different situation. Still lean to, if you're a value player or based on variance playing, certainly Ipswich and under would be on my card. There's a lot more nuance to this game than just that. Moving to Sunday, we'll start with Bournemouth hosting Manchester United. Currently, Bournemouth 3/4 goal favorites with all the juice totals 2 3/4, juice more to the over. I think this is pointing to potentially some other interests for Manchester United coming up down the calendar. Bournemouth is a big favorite, though. I haven't really loved them on that side all season. Loved backing them as an underdog for, I don't know, the first 5 months of the year, it felt like. But lean to Manchester United getting 3/4 of goal. Would love to get a full goal of insurance on the Manchester United side, but we'll see what the lineup looks like and lean to under 2 3/4. I don't see a lot of goals coming from Bournemouth as a favorite, who like to sit deep and counterattack. We'll move next to, I'll stop here on Sunday because I don't think discussing the Thursday matches. Well, I think it's only one match, so I might as well throw it in there. Liverpool, 2-goal favorites to Tottenham in the nightcap on Sunday. All the juice on Tottenham totals 3 3/4, juice all the way to under. Similar, I think, circumstances as Manchester United, Tottenham advancing in Europa League, and they're not really looking like they're going to put a lineup out there for this matchup. Liverpool, I've wanted to be against the big favorite for a lot of the season. It's amazing how dominant they were in Premier League play, considering they're a pretty average club, in my humble opinion. There's a reason why they did win the group play, but a lot of think that was based on who they played in Champions League phase. But there's a reason why they got eliminated by PSG at home with a lead, I got to say. Lean to Tottenham getting 2 goals, but I want to see the lineup. Would imagine that they're still going to play who they put up in the Europa League, at least for part of this match, but we'll see how that goes. And of course, I would think I would rather have the starters coming in for the last 30 minutes and playing the first 60, because you never know what happens when the backup brigade comes in. But lean to under 3 3/4 as well. I think we've seen Ange Postecoglou a lot more pragmatic, trying to keep his job, and I think that's something we might see in this matchup as well. And then I guess a bonus from Thursday, May 1st coming up next week. Long way to go. And of course, Nottingham Forest are playing in the FA Cup as well, which we'll get to in just 1 second. But Nottingham Forest, 1/4 goal favorites at home to Brentford, a little bit more juice on the home team, totals 2.5, juice all the way to over. I'm not going to pick this for ultimate best bet, but I lean to Brentford, especially because they get to catch Nottingham Forest potentially off of a great celebration for reaching the FA Cup final, or a really disconsolate and very sad, maybe certainly you could say motivated if Nottingham Forest do lose this weekend. And they've been playing great in Premier League and are trying to find their way to Champions League. But Brentford, I think, are in a great position to potentially try to steal some of that thunder. And I'd lean to the road underdog, though it's certainly very cheap at the moment. For my best bet in the English Premier League for this weekend, I think I'm going to go with one of the Saturday matches. I don't really think I feel that strongly about 2 rotating lineups and not be able to see them and calling that a couple days in advance. So I'm going to go, it's a really early start. I'll go Everton under 2.75 goals on the road at Chelsea. I just don't think there's a lot of scoring, and I think that's going to certainly cater to the under 2.75. We'll move now to the FA Cup. Let me pull up those lines as they're very difficult for me to load. I'll be right there in just 1 second. Thank you for your support and patience. It's been a great year. I'm going to try to keep that going as long as possible. Okay, so we'll go to the English FA Cup, and we are there. So on the Saturday matchup, we have Crystal Palace. I will go through 2 advanced numbers as well. I know that's popular to some. Crystal Palace, quarter goal underdogs in a neutral site at Wembley Stadium in London. So much easier trip for Crystal Palace than Aston Villa, but ultimately I think we'll see plenty of villains, especially as this is their really only competition as they're now to Champions League. A quarter goal underdog are Crystal Palace on the neutral site. Total is 2.5. And I lean to a low-scoring match. I think we see those type of situations, especially in the EFL Championship playoff to try to get that last Premier League spot. A little bit different here with teams that are a lot more capable, but the defenses are better. And I think we see a low-scoring match here. So I'll lean to the not road underdog, just underdog, and lean to under 2.5. As for the 2 advanced numbers, Crystal Palace plus 130, Aston Villa minus 160. Crystal Palace, to me, I mean, they are defend very well, which is why I like under, and find some goals. And they've done very well at that after a really slow start to the season, after a great finish to the end of 2024, second half of last season's of the English Premier League. So I think this is a good spot for them. I don't really think they should be this big of an underdog, though a quarter doesn't mean much. Pretty much says that Aston Villa would be about a half of a goal favorite at home in Birmingham. Crystal Palace about Pickham in Selhurst Park on some side of London, I think the east side. But I just don't know that I see much of a difference here. So underdog and under certainly very interesting to me on this Saturday FA Cup semifinal at Wembley Stadium. Moving to, I guess, 45 minutes earlier on Sunday to get everyone to church or from church. Nottingham Forest, 3/4 goal underdogs to Manchester City. Looks like the total in this one, as I hope I didn't just mute myself. I don't think I did. The total in this one is, let me just make sure I didn't mute myself because it would be horrible to have to do this whole thing over again. I think we're okay. Okay. Let's mute. Oh, we got muted. Okay, we're back. Total in this one's 2.5 as well, which does, I think, speak a lot to a low scoring nature in this event. I'm very surprised, though, Manchester City to have a 2.5, or Crystal Palace and Aston Villa do as well. That doesn't seem to align very well. Certainly a lot more juice on the over in this matchup than in the other matchup, with more juice to the under 2.5, Crystal Palace to Aston Villa. I'll be waiting to see this number climb. I think Nottingham Forest, we've seen them climb the English Premier League table. I think they were picked by Robbie Earle on American television as one of his relegation picks, and they're in like potentially a Champions League place. But they've had some of the lowest possession totals in the entire league. I don't think that changes. Manchester City are going to have to break them down. They certainly look better as of late, but I still don't trust them, and I want to be against them. The hard part, I think, is playing unders with Manchester City because their defense has been so problematic. But I don't know that Nottingham Forest are really the team to take advantage of that. However, I think counterattacks are where you do it, and Nottingham Forest are certainly built, primed, everything, and ready for that. So very big interest in Nottingham Forest, 3/4 of a goal underdog, just the same amount in the under 2.5, and 2 advanced number plus 215 for Nottingham Forest. It's hard to play that because there's going to be a lot of defending, and I think Manchester City, if they win this 1-0, holding on for dear life, certainly that wouldn't be a horrible bet because you've been in it the whole time, Nottingham Forest, and that one goal to suddenly get to extra time and to penalty kicks would be certainly of value, which coin flips are penalty kicks are usually coin flips. So getting plus 215, 100 US to win 215 US is certainly good. Manchester City on the other side, minus 275 win you 100. I don't see any value there. I think going against Nottingham Forest, if you're looking to in some way or fashion, I don't think you maybe play under, because I think they're all things to me, all signs point to Nottingham Forest. Certainly makes sense from an underdog podcast. This entire time this podcast has been around, but still, I think there's a lot of value on the less valued team or in both of these matchups. I think it's really hard to win on the road. They always say you don't try to win you don't try to look pretty in a final, you just try to win it. I think we see that in the semifinal as well. And I think the first goal will decide potentially both of these matches and may not come. So under 2.5, my biggest interest in both these matches. Lean to Nottingham Forest getting 3/4 of goal. Would love to get a full goal of insurance. And I'm tempted by the 2 advanced numbers on the underdogs as well. Feel like you could play both and split them, and you'd be profitable there. So not a bad idea there either. For my best bet in the FA Cup for the semifinal round, I'm going to go with that Crystal Palace Aston Villa under 2.5, and then we will move to Spain to the Copa del Rey in the I think it's in Sevilla every season. It seems to always be there. Let's see. Do they actually say it? Where it is? Come on, BetOnline, show it. You're a sponsor of La Liga. Oh, I guess it's a slightly different competition. Anyway, Barcelona, quarter goal favorites to Real Madrid. Totals 3.25, juice slightly more to the over, just a couple of pennies. Very juiced on the Real Madrid side, and there's been money coming in Real Madrid, which is surprising to me considering Barcelona has dominated them in 2 meetings this season so far. One at Real Madrid, I believe, I think, and then one in the Supercopa España title match round final, whatever, blood money, Saudi Arabia style. Barcelona is the side I want here because they've just dominated Real Madrid. I don't think that changes. I think Real Madrid have so many problems. Barcelona have plenty themselves, but they have so much depth, so much talent, so many goals that can be scored. Real Madrid, I feel like if they're going to try to not get embarrassed, maybe under looks a little bit interesting because they need to defend. They just don't have capable defenders. So I don't know where to go with that. I think for me, best bet in this matchup for now is under 3.25. I'll be waiting to see if Barcelona move to a pick'em though, because that's probably the buy price for me. I'm not on a neutral site. I don't bet favorites in soccer, as anyone who listens to this podcast knows. Sorry, Joe Dollar. I know you've been hoping that I would at some point this season, but probably never. Giving you some overs though, and that's maybe feel a little bit better about trying to reach your goals. But I think at this point, there's just not a lot for me to do here. At least until some Real Madrid money, the trucks keep backing up and dumping more cash on the Real Madrid side. And then maybe we get Barcelona before kickoff in the late window, 2 p.m. Central Time here in the United States in Dallas, Texas. From here, I'll then move to Ligue in France, and then we'll go through the Bundesliga. Then I'll close this one out and get you an ultimate best bet end of show, which is 69% so far this season. We'll start on Saturday with Strasbourg hosting Saint-Etienne. Currently, Strasbourg a 1-goal favorite. All the juice on Saint-Etienne. Total is 3, juice all the way to over. So Strasbourg, they are a much more talented team, have been in the league for a while, have really taken on a lot of – they're essentially a minor league club for Chelsea at this point. And where all the money is spent, they've sent a lot of players on loan, and that's certainly benefits Strasbourg. On the other side, Saint-Etienne coming up from Ligue 2 after being one of the biggest French clubs in history, had a big match with Lyon last weekend, and now gets Strasbourg on the road. Certainly a good spot for them to not show up, especially if they're playing well against Lyon. I think from a Strasbourg perspective, they probably have a good chance of taking Saint-Etienne lightly, but they need wins to try to climb the table and finish in Champions League position or just anything European related. I think biggest interest for me is under 3 in this one because I don't really want to deal too much with Saint-Etienne because I don't trust them to score and their defense has been bad. With that said, looks like it might get to 3.25, which is pretty large. And I think Saint-Etienne are just going to batten the hatches and try to defend as much as possible. Strasbourg's defense has honestly been better than I expected this year. Next match, we go to Le Havre hosting Monaco. Currently, Le Havre, a 1.25 goal underdog at home with juice on Monaco away. Total's 3.25, juice all the way to over. So Le Havre, to me, they can't score goals. They can defend-ish. Monaco are going to really test that, and I'll lean to the home underdog getting a goal and a quarter and to under 3.25. But Monaco have been really good away from the Stade Louis II. And so they're not going to have many troubles, I think, away, which is a big benefit for them. But I think really I'd rather just be against Monaco at home because they get home field advantage and don't really deserve it. But big favorite here, and Le Havre certainly are fighting. We'll move to the nightcap on Saturday. Lyon hosting Stade Rennais. Currently, Lyon a 3/4 goal favorite with more juice. Total is 3, juice all the way to over. Lyon they've all their eggs in the Ligue 1 basket. They need to find a way to Champions League probably to keep themselves out of financial jail. I don't know what the latest is on John Textor, the American investor, who's not done a great job with keeping the finances in order. Though certainly Lyon's struggles have been a big problem for that. They did get to Europa League, went pretty far. I thought 2-0 up on the road at Manchester United, 4-2 up on aggregate after dominating the first leg. Brutal that they didn't go through. But with that said, I think Rennes have been playing really great defense as they brought their third manager of the season in. I'll lean to the underdog there, 3/4 of a goal, and to the under 3. Moving to Sunday, we'll start with Angers hosting Lille. Currently, Angers, a 1-goal underdog at home with more juice. Totals 2.5, juice all the way to under. Angers, to me, are a goal-scoring team, and they can do it. Lille have not been the same since a great start to Champions League, running out of gas, or just really haven't played as well, and haven't been firing ever since the heartbreaking collapse in Champions League to the hands of Borussia Dortmund. I think Angers is the side I want here. I'll take the +1, lean to under 2.5 as well, as I think the underdog can bother Lille's offense. To a big relegation battle, Montpellier, 3/4 goal underdogs at home with all the juice to Stade de Reims. Total is 2 3/4, juiced all the way to under. Reims have been awful, but this price certainly suggests that Montpellier are down and out. I don't really believe that. Lean to underdog at 3/4 of the goal. It's gigantic for a team. The Reims have been really struggling this season. Lean to under 2 3/4 as well, as I just want to be against the Reims offense. Moving next to Nantes hosting Toulouse. Currently Nantes a pick'em, all the juice on Toulouse away. Totals 2.5, juice all the way to under. Now Toulouse have been getting a lot of respect lately from the Ligue market. Plus, Nantes played a match with PSG midweek, I believe, because of the eventual Ligue Coupe de France that's coming up. PSG are in the final there, I think, against Reims. But I don't think I've seen Reims play an extra game so far this week or something like that. So maybe that's next week. Who knows? And PSG of Champions League. So that's probably what's happening. But Nantes, always my interest, forever and ever. Love Antoine Comboiré. Also like their defense. So under 2.5 and the pick'em. Would love that to get to a quarter goal underdog. To the next one, we'll go Lens hosting Auxerre. Currently, Lens a 1-goal favorite at home with almost all the juice. Totals 2 3/4, juice all the way to over. It looks like we're getting a 3 because I'm not sure I see a lot of -130s in French League totals. Auxerre can score. Lens, to me, have not been great offense. They've been a great defense despite bringing in an offensive mind for their new manager after a great defender left for Nice. Maybe it was the club more than it was the chief. Maybe it was the tribe more than chief, I guess, if you will. But Auxerre, I think, can go cause some problems for Lens, who don't really score very well. The problem is, can they handle such a big crowd and the 5 étoiles, who are just so defeating, or really defeat their opponent just from walking into that McDonald's colored stadium. I think we see a close game, closer than the extras are saying, but there is some pause for me with Auxerre heading to a really tough place to play. Last but not least, Marseille. They host Stade Brestois. Currently, Marseille 1-goal favorite with all the juice. Total is 3, just all the way to over. Stade Brestois, they've really had a great run in Champions League, and the season has kind of gone downhill since then, since they were eliminated by PSG. I think 10-0 on aggregate from 2 legs. No shame in that, I guess. Some shame, but whatever. They made Champions League. No one expected that. Advanced in Champions League. No one expected that. Was a very easy schedule that got them through. But Marseille on the other side, they should be able to beat this Brest squad. But I forever believe in Stade Brestois because they have been underdogs forever, and they do really well in that type of situation. Finishing 3rd last year in Champions League was amazing. I'll lean to the +1 and under 3, though. Certainly, all those things fading Marseille at the Stade Lens Velodrome is a very, very scary proposition. For my best bet on French Ligue 1 portion of this episode, I'm going to go with the Strasbourg Saint-Etienne under 3 goals. It's very scary to play Saint-Etienne in any sort of fashion to bet their defense away from home. But I guess I will do that here. And last but not least, we'll get to the German Bundesliga. And that'll be the last covered on this episode, as it's already 1:10 in the morning, and these matches, some of them start in 5 hours. And I still got to post them. I still got to plug my computer in so it doesn't die in the middle of this episode as well. There we go. Okay, we're good. We're alive. We'll start in the big window on Saturday in the German Bundesliga. TSG Hoffenheim, 3/4 goal underdog at home to Borussia Dortmund, who are trying to fight their way into Champions League. Hoffenheim just trying to stay in the Bundesliga. Totals 3.25, juice more to the over. 3/4 goal underdogs are Hoffenheim at home. Borussia Dortmund with all the juice. So I'm hoping this climbs to a full goal of insurance. We don't have that yet. That would be nice, but I don't see it at the moment. And so we'll wait and see on that one. To the next, we'll go to I like under there too as well. It's really scary with Dortmund playing better, but Hoffenheim's defense has been a lot better as they've been fighting relegation. Holstein Kiel, speaking of relegation, they were bottom, but have been fighting to get off of that spot. Bottom two are relegated automatically, but third place finisher gets a playoff against the Schweizer Liga third place finisher, and that's usually a good situation for the Bundesliga's club. Oberhausen, Holstein Kiel, quarter goal underdog at home to Borussia Mönchengladbach, totals 3.25, juice almost all the way to under and almost all the way to Gladbach right now. Gladbach, I mean, they're fighting for Europe, but so is almost everybody. I do think that means that everyone's still fighting for things, and that matters because this season's going to end much shorter of fewer teams in every league besides Ligue 1. I think Kiel is where I'm looking as a quarter goal underdog. I'd love to get a half of a goal, and even then that might not be enough. Kiel also has a really bad defense and kind of find ways to score goals that are unexpected, but lean to under 3.25. Anything above 3, I think I'm forced to look in the under direction. VfL Wolfsburg then hosts Sport Club Freiburg. Currently, Wolfsburg a pick'em right now with all the juice totals 2.75, just more to the over. This was quarter goal favorites. It's coming down to pick'em. I think that's just betting against Wolfsburg, who've been messing with their defensive rotation. Their goals have never been that trustworthy this season, nor have Freiburg's, though. So I think biggest interest for me is under 2.75, especially now that the spread is down to pick'em. Move next to Bayer Leverkusen hosting Football Club Augsburg. If the Bundesliga Meisterschale title is not gone already, it should have been months ago, but Leverkusen have hung around somehow, or Leverkusen have been given gifts by Bayern München. I lean to Augsburg, a goal and a quarter goal underdog. Also under 3. I think Augsburg go in and really frustrate the Leverkusen side that haven't looked good since, end of last season, and that was still pretty lucky. Next match will go to Bayern München, a 2-goal favorite to Mainz 05. Currently, Bayern a 2-goal favorite with more juice, 3.75 is the total, juice more to the over. Mainz are a goal-scoring team, and they are going to be very intense, even away from home. And I think they're going to give Bayern some trouble. Generally, if I'm playing a road underdog, I want to play under as well, and I don't really feel that way. So this might be a skip, but getting 2 insurance goals is too much. To the top spiel, the Saturday night game, we have Eintracht Frankfurt hosting RB Leipzig. Currently, Frankfurt a half of a goal favorite at home, all the juice on Leipzig away. Totals 3.25, juice almost all the way to over. 2 teams that could score goals. I just don't really trust them too much at this point in the season. Leipzig already firing their manager. That's not been great, but Eintracht Frankfurt have not been the same since they sold Omar Mamouche. I'll lean under dog there. RB Leipzig getting a half of a goal. To Sunday with 2 matches, VfL Bochum hosting Football Club Union Berlin. That's definitely a relegation battle. Bochum a quarter goal favorite at home. All the juice on Union. Totals 2.5, juice all the way to over. I don't see goals coming here on either side. I think the quarter goals underdog and under 2.5 is very interesting. Might be 2.75 before kickoff. Last but not least, Werder Bremen hosts Football Club St. Pauli. Currently, Werder a half a goal favorite with a little bit more juice on St. Pauli away. Totals 2.5, juice all the way to over. St. Pauli are a great defense, really, but they can't score goals. That's a big problem to back the half of a goal away from home. I lean more to the under 2.5 in that matchup. As for the ultimate best bet from the German Bundesliga, and just hang on 1 second, we'll get to the ultimate best bet for the entire show, 69%. Nice this season. I'm going to go with the Augsburg by Leverkusen under 3 goals, my best bet in Germany. So, going to get my handy-dandy recording device together, make sure everything is ready, set up, and we can go and actually do this live. Just kidding. We're kind of record it, but whatever. Don't forget to tip your landlord. Who's my Are you my landlord? Bricker, thank you for coming in. And love the comments, especially late night. My landlord. Don't forget to tip my landlord. I wish I could know what you're talking about, but if you want to throw that in there, that'd be nice. Or if you want to tip me, you can do that. I don't know how you do it. You can slide in my DMs at the _G Warner. I don't know if I have a tip function enabled on Twitter. I probably could do that. I don't think that's what you mean, but whatever. I'll take some cash or whatever. Hopefully some winners have been coming your way, and you want to pay it forward or pay it backwards, or I don't know, buy me a beer or some tickets or something. That'd be cool. Anyway, that's distracted me. So patreon.com/real_G Warner. That's where you can get my plays across all sports, baseball, soccer, hockey, even 3-0 last 3. Let's go, baby. Also, if you're looking for podcasts, I'm still trying to get Abrooks Bets back on the baseball bandwagon. I don't know what the heck his problem is, but if you want to hit up at Brooks, Brooks Bets on Twitter, hit him up. demand that he comes back to the Betting the Pitch Baseball podcast. We did one, and we'll be back on Monday night for the Tuesday action with Munaf Manji on the pregame.com podcast network. And that's about it. So let's get into the ultimate best bet. Lots of unders coming. No surprise. Sorry, Joe Dollar. Hey, I'm the real_G Warner on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, and on YouTube. This is the ultimate best bet for the Betting the Pitch soccer podcast. Went through the Premier League, FA Cup, Copa del Rey, Ligue, and the Bundesliga. We were 41-18, 69% so far year to date. Nice. And picked one of my favorite bets from each of the leagues we cover. In this episode, a little bit different than most, but we still got the top five, so let's do it. The English Premier League, I like Everton under 2 3/4 goals. FA Cup, I like Crystal Palace under 2.5. Copa del Rey, I like Barcelona under 3 1/4 goals. In Ligue in France, I like Saint Etienne under 3. And the German Bundesliga, I like Augsburg under 3. But for the ultimate best bet on this episode, 41-18, 69% year to date. Let's go with Crystal Palace under 2.5 goals at Wembley Stadium, FA Cup semifinal. I think Crystal Palace, Aston Villa are going to slug for 1 goal. Might not even get it. So play under 2.5. There's going to be a lot of fans there. Proud fan bases, all those sort of things, and not a lot of goals. And that'll do it for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you bright and early tomorrow. And Bricker, if you could explain yourself, thank you for joining the chat. But I don't know what don't forget to tip your landlord actually means. So anyway, have a great evening. Talk to you all very, very soon. And that's it for the Betting the Pitch podcast network tonight.
Recording stopped.